Shalom, Boker Tov, Rabbi Eric Solomon, Raleigh, North Carolina, Beth Mar Synagogue, Loma Morning Torah. All right, this week's parsha is Lech Lecha. Abraham, at that point called Avram, is told to leave his land by God to go to the land that I will show you. And this is the first use of the entire Torah naming Abraham as an Ivri, which in English is known as a Hebrew. And their beautiful midrashim interpretation. Why is it called Ivri? The word Ever means other side, Ivri, Ever. And my favorite midrashim says that the whole world was on one side of a river, or on one side, and Abraham was on the other side. So to be an Ivri, to be on the other side, means that Abraham basically stood alone against the rest of the world. And probably in that context, the implication was that while the whole world was doing idolatry, Abraham was following the one good of Yud He Vav He. So that sense of kind of Abraham had one opinion or one theology, different than the rest of the world. But really it establishes what does it mean to be a Hebrew, is it means to be a person who's willing to be on one side when the whole world's on the other side. A willingness to kind of stand up, be courageous, be strong, and go against the grain. Like to be a Hebrew, which is the origins really of the Jewish people, is to be someone who's willing to go against, even when you're alone, or it's difficult, or it's against peer pressure, or whatever. That's a brilliant teaching. I love it. And it stands strongly to the Jewish people's, we're a minority status, we're a small people, but we have been willing to stand against the grain. And it really stands up for any person who wants to be Abrahamic and willing to stand against the grain, even especially when the world's going in difficult or bad place or immoral place, that you stand for a place of justice and love and kindness and a place of the oneness of humanity. However, sometimes the sense of being against the grain goes off course. In the case of Kyrie Irving. So I'm not going to replay the whole Kyrie situation right now, but he promoted essentially and refused to back down until literally just this morning I read in the news that he's apologized on Instagram, but still he showed such craziness about promoting super seriously anti-Semitic, hateful, anti-Jewish media, movie, whatever. And some of the argument in defense of him is saying he's being like Abraham. He's standing against the grain. He goes against the world. He speaks his truth, even if it's a minority opinion. And this is if you want to go against the grain and you want to go against what others think, okay, that's true. He is in that sense doing that. But then you have to be able to justify what you're saying and be prepared to defend it in other circumstances. If we replaced his movie that's Jew hating with any other type of hatred towards any group, would it qualify? Are you ready to defend that? So just going against the grain is not enough. You have to go against the grain with something moral, a action for the world, and one that's consistent in other categories. In that case, this is far from that. So Abraham may have gone against the world. People may have looked at him, but ultimately he was offering as a moral call, a call for a higher quality, not for a debasing or negative. And that's why, among many reasons, I'm very disappointed in Kyrie and others. May we all follow Abraham for a moral call, a place where we see everyone made in God's image and not in debasing others and sadly being anti-Semitic. Shabbat Shalom.